Hi. Hey. Hi. Me. Your boy. And my timing for getting sick is impeccable. Yeah, hi, it's me. Ignore the hair. I know I need a haircut. That's going to happen on Thursday. Today is Monday, for context. Also, ignore the voice. I inherited a cold from my grandma last Monday, and yesterday I made it worse by A, being in the presence of three more people with a cold, and B, talking for 5 hours because we played D&D for way longer than we should have. Those stupid sea zombies just didn't want to die. We are back in my kitchen. Why are we back in my kitchen? Well, usually when we are in my kitchen, that means that I'm vlogging something. Now, what am I vlogging, you ask? Well, in my super duper bookmas announcement graphic, I said that I'm going to do a 24-hour challenge, and that is exactly what this video is. You should know that because you clicked on it, and I'm pretty sure I put that in my thumbnail and or my title, so yay. God, this is your brain on a cold, I guess. I'm not brave enough to just go for straight 24 hours. I'm also too gay to go for straight 24 hours, so we're going to do the timer method in this here household. I cannot show you the timer on my phone because I'm filming on my phone, but I think I will put it down in the corner in various places, I don't know, and you might see a timer on my laptop. Rest assured, I will time 24 hours because I actually want to know how much I can read in 24 hours, given that my reading speed this year has been through the roof. So I actually want to know, how much can I get done if I just read for 24 hours, you know? What am I going to read? Remember my December TBR? If not, what are you doing here? Go watch it. I can wait. You back? Cool. Yeah, as you can see, there are a lot of Christmas books on my TBR. Wow, that's the sound. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not looking forward to reading any of these. Maybe the M.A. Waddell, because that author has proven himself before, so but I'm not looking forward to reading any of those. So I thought to myself, why prolong my own suffering? And I'm going to turn my December TBR into my priority TBR for this 24-hour challenge that I'm doing here. There is just a tiny problem. I have the audiobook for two of those, and I checked how long they are going to take. One is a 13-hour audiobook, the other is a 10-hour audiobook. Technically, that brings us up to 23 hours. Should be cool, right? Wrong, because I'm listening to audiobooks on 2.5 speed on average, sometimes even faster, meaning both of these audiobooks only cover not even 12 hours. So what else am I going to do? Well, first and foremost, I'm going to read the M.A. Waddell. That's going to be a tiny bit slower because I'm not audiobooking that one. I have to physically read that. Oh god. But I have a feeling that I'm going to be done with all three of those before the 24 hours are up. So I'm also putting some NetGalley arcs that I still have left onto this TBR. I have a couple of audiobooks left, I have a couple of mangas left, so there are some short things in there that I can just slap in if need be. And other than that, I discovered that I have Christmas and Other Horrors on my Kindle, which is like a horror short story anthology, but it's all around centered around Christmas. So I might read that as a palate cleanser. I don't know. Who knows? I don't know. You don't know. Let's find out together, right? But first, gotta drink my coffee. I'm going to listen to an audiobook and do some housework because my room is a mess and I don't have a lot of room in my room to have a mess. So I'm going to fold my laundry and put that shit away. I'm also probably going to clean up my plushy corner, and you can't see it, but behind there, like that shit that has to go into my crafting bin. So I have some stuff to do. There's also some chaos behind you right now, and I'm just going to do some mindless houseworking tasks, and I'm going to listen to something while I do that. Cool. Okay, so of course now there's a plane because the airport hates me, even though 2 out of 3 people in this building work there. Anyway, I'm about to go walk my aunt's dog, but I just want to check in because I cleaned up. This is going back up on my bookshelves. I just needed to dust them. But yeah, I cleaned this corner. I cleaned up that, and the crafting bucket has been sorted. The plushies that were here are currently sitting over there. They will go down into the cellar once I come back. And I also cleaned up my laundry. Like, I can actually like just go to my shelves now because there's no laundry parked in front of it. And I now have to go and walk the doggo, and I will keep listening to shit while I walk the doggo. I do have the timer. 1 second. You can barely see it, but I do have the timer, and it is currently paused. So I will have a timer running in the background on my phone. I will not film. I will have the timer on my phone. So I have that one paused currently because I will listen to music on my way to my aunt, and then on walkies I will probably listen to an audiobook. If not, it's going to be more music, and depending on what I do, I will have the timer run in the background. I know the lighting's shitty. It's very late. I am about to head into bed. Why are there so many hours in 24 hours? I feel like I've read all day long, but the clock says that I only read for 4.5 hours. That is so rude. I am 67% into How My Neighbor Stole Christmas, and it's happening again. At the beginning of the book, I was like, oh god, everything is horrible. But after like the first 100 pages, I started to get into it, and now I actually kind of like it. Like, I'm rooting for these 2 idiots. I would die for Cole. I would die for Max. I wasn't sure about Story in the beginning, but now I would die for her too. Like, she got there in the end. They are communicating in a healthy way. Like, their whole rivalry in the book is based on a miscommunication they had 10 years ago, and they just talked about it like grown-ups. Like, she asked, like, that they had a thing where they were like stuck in the snow and he was giving her a ride, so they were alone in the car for a hot second, and she just went and was like, why do you not like me? And he's like, well, because of this thing that happened 10 years ago. And she's like, oh. And then they talk about it and they clear the air and they realize, okay, without that, we can return to the friendship we once had. And oh, by the way, I have a crush on you. And the other one is, oh, I have a crush on you. And that's where their relationship starts to develop. And they are just communicating in such a healthy way. In a romance? In this economy? Is it happening again? Are we repeating Valentine's Day where I'm like, I hate this holiday, and then I read a bunch of holiday specific romances, and then everything is cool and I love the holiday? What? Wow. But yeah, I'm 67% in now. I feel there is a third act breakup coming in because he has abandonment issues and she technically is going away, is going back home to California again. So maybe there's that, and then like in the final bits, she either returns back to him or he is brave enough to leave his small town and goes to her. I don't know. I will find that out tomorrow. I am tired. I am going to bed now, and I will read some more tomorrow. How are there still 19 and a half hours left on the clock? What? How do people do these in 2 days? What? So it's day 2 of this challenge, and it is currently 10 past 3 in the afternoon, and I just finished my first read. You can barely see the timer. I've been reading all day long. I just haven't updated you because there wasn't anything to update you on. I was still reading How My Neighbor Stole Christmas, and I finished How My Neighbor Stole Christmas. And I actually actively squealed at it. Like I said in the last update I gave, the first 100 pages I was like, okay, I hate this book, but I pushed through because I was like, yeah, I'm challenging myself in December to read these Christmas romances. And after the first 100 pages, it just got better and better. We have adults communicating in a very healthy way. The relationship they are building together is just very authentic, and the characters are yes, everything about it, yes. Then the end, like your typical third act breakup, I thought it was going to be because she had to leave or would be leaving. It wasn't that. It was something completely different, and again, they fixed it with healthy communication. And then the ending happened and I squealed. I don't squeal at romances, but I squealed. Also, can we talk about the very cheesy but very dirty at some point Christmas rhymes at the beginning of every chapter? Like, what was that? And why were they so great? Like, kudos to the author for those, because what the fuck was that? They are amazing. They were amazing. Wow. Yeah, I haven't put it through Cawpile yet, so I don't know the exact rating, but I'm feeling a 4-star. I was entertained. I had so much fun with this once I got over the first initial hurdle. Wow. That was a great read. I legitimately was not expecting to like this. I legitimately was not expecting to like this. Now, of the books on this TBR, let's call it that, this was one where I was like, okay, this might not be a complete disaster because it was a Grinch retelling, and there were definitely points where you could see, okay, the inspiration is the Grinch. Even though the Grinch canonically exists in this universe. The fact that the characters did not see the parallels between the movie and their life, impeccable. That was the one I thought, okay, this has at least some chance because I love the movie The Grinch. The next one I'm going to read, should I pick it up? I don't know if I'm going to go into Nick and Noel's Christmas playlist right away. That is the one where I legitimately say this is not going to be my thing. But yeah, that was a ride I wasn't expecting, and I was so happy that I like it. Like, I'm baffled, but I'm happy. Didn't do anything to curb my Christmas mood, but like, I at least enjoyed the book, you know? So I'm going to continue reading. I have 16 hours left on the clock. 16 hours and 38 minutes to be exact. And yeah. Once again, I find myself wondering why there are so many hours in 24 hours. So I am 25% into Nick and Noel's Christmas playlist, and I'm making the executive decision to DNF. I was expecting horrible Christmas song puns, and I'm not getting that. Instead, I get horrible, very flat supporting cast that is kind of important to the main cast. It's kind of, I don't know, it's confusing. I'm just not clicking with the characters, and I don't get the whole situation. Like, Nick and Noel are best friends since their childhood. They grew up together in the same household because Noel's parents died, so they are technically more or less adoptive / step siblings, but also best friends, and now they are fake dating because Noel's friend with benefit broke up with her, and Nick's on and off girlfriend broke up with him, and these two exes are now together. So Nick and Noel decided, let's fake date, and at the same time they figure out, maybe there is more to this than just friendship. I don't know. And now both of the exes are jealous of Nick and Noel being together, and especially Nick's ex is like trying to get back with him because she doesn't like Noel. Like, I don't know. This is just messy in a not interesting way. And like I said, I'm not clicking with any of these characters. I don't know. It's not gripping me. It's not gripping me. And given that this was a book I never had any hopes for, why bother? You know, I still have 15 hours and 43 minutes left on the timer, but I'm going to move them somewhere else and I'm DNFing this. I'm willing to stick to these things longer than usual because of the fact that I'm trying to read these Christmas books for Christmas. But if I'm bored, why bother, you know? Since Nick and Noel's Christmas playlist was such a bust, I whipped out a quick audiobook novella I had flying around, which is called The Boss Who Stole Christmas. And it's a quick romance novella with some smut sprinkled in, and I don't even know if it's set around Christmas. I think it's set in the like season towards Christmas, but like the town is all about Christmas and the female main character is all about Christmas, and both of the characters work for a toy company and stuff like that, and they go to a Christmas market in Nuremberg, or Nuremberg, which is like the Christmas market. My sibling went to it once upon a time, and we got a magnet from there. Well, they got a magnet from there. It's a very famous Christmas market, even in Germany. But yeah, it's a novella. It exists. I read it. I killed, I think, another hour with that. The audiobook was 2 hours and something long, and I listened to it at 2.5 speed, I think. I have 14 hours and 37 minutes left on the timer. Why are there so many hours left? I think I have to go to physically reading with my eyeballs because listening to audiobooks is just too fast. I say that as if I have to run a marathon here and need to conserve my energy. But I feel like reading something with my eyeballs now. Excuse the background noise. I have the air fryer on, but while I'm babysitting the air fryer and my fish sticks, which are going into the pan in a second, I wanted to let you know that I'm starting Christmas and Other Horrors by a bunch of authors because I need a break from the lovey-dovey stuff and I need some blood and gore. It's day 3 of this entire ordeal, and I have come to the conclusion that I will never ever do this challenge again in my life, because 24 hours of reading is just so many hours of reading. Little update, I climbed into bed last night and just kept on reading. Then I got up this morning. I got up early actually, and I kept on reading. I just chugged away at my books, and the timer just doesn't want to get down. I have it down to under double digits at this point. I'm getting there. As you can maybe see behind me, I have 3 books going on right now. So I started Christmas and Other Horrors. Christmas and Other Horrors is an anthology, so there are multiple short stories about creepy Christmas stuff. And I read 3 of them. After that, I didn't want to read that anymore. So I switched over to Mistletoes and Mishigas. Where is it? Wait. Mistletoe and Mishigas by M.A. Waddell, which I started earlier today. I started that this morning. That's what you hopefully, if editing me did it all right, saw in the last clip. Started this one with like there's some cute art in the front. There's also some cute art in the back. There's some more art. And I am 49 pages in, and it's a cute, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a cute romance. But right now Sheldon, our one of our dudes, the small one, Sheldon is so annoying. Sheldon is oh god, he's so annoying. He's obnoxious. He's like, okay, we're having the insert random description of your current situation moment. Let's pop off. Okay, cool. Like, he's very much RuPaul's Drag Race kind of gay. I appreciate that. There are people out there who are that 24/7. I myself am that anytime I get very much into watching RuPaul's Drag Race again. But reading about it is kind of making him very obnoxious. I do have to say though, there are seeds in here. There are seeds where it's like, all of that might be a mask and we overcome overcompensating for certain things. Tell me all about your trauma. And then we have Theo. I feel a kinship with Theo just because he just wants everyone to shut up and leave him alone. I feel that. The best part, they haven't interacted much yet, but Theo just wants everyone to shut up, and that is the one thing Sheldon seems to be incapable of doing. So I'm very interested in seeing where this is going in terms of like a romance. I know this is a Grumpy Sunshine romance, like this, I knew that when I got in, and I know that they are ending up together, but like, okay, cool. So far nothing much has happened. Again, they only met once, but I just stopped at a chapter where they are going to meet again. 49 pages, not much to say about this. Also, I have to say one thing. I have read 3 books so far, right? And I DNF'd 1. Let's take the novella out of the equation and just talk about the full-length books I touched for this vlog, right? So we had How My Neighbor Stole Christmas, right? In How My Neighbor Stole Christmas, we have a main character who hates Christmas because his parents died in a car crash during a snowstorm. And by the end of the book, there is also a Christmas Eve wedding. Then we have Nick and Noelle's Christmas playlist, where one of the main characters hates Christmas because her parents died in a car crash during a snowstorm, and there is a wedding on Christmas Eve. The parents of both of these main characters are still alive, but Sheldon's ex-boyfriend invites him to his wedding on Christmas Eve. Where are my nickels? Give me my nickels. Also, why is everyone trying to get married on Christmas Eve? That is like the dumbest day to get married ever, because everyone has other things to do on Christmas Eve. Arguably better things than celebrating your wedding. I also need authors to realize that you can have tension in a Christmas romance novel without having someone marry on Christmas Eve. Also, I need authors to realize that you can hate Christmas with your parents alive and well. You can hate Christmas just for the sake of it. Take me, for example. My mother is still alive and doing relatively well. My father, well, I don't know what he's up to, but I haven't gotten any official documents telling me that he's dead. So I guess he's alive and doing well, ? And I'm still not the biggest fan of Christmas. Oh yeah, I'm going to keep going with these 2 Christmas books. And then the 3rd book I started. Can you see it when I move my mouse? No, you can't. That one is an audiobook. I just started that because I had to walk the dog of my aunt, and I was out of audiobooks. So I just picked up one of my audio arcs from NetGalley, and this one is The Lavender Blade by E.L. Dirtz? And that one is a fantasy novel, speculative fiction fantasy novel, about a guy who is conning his way through life as an exorcist. He's pretending he exorcises demons and everyone is just eating out of his hand. And a rich guy comes to him and is like, hey, what if we expand your business and we start scamming the big guys? I have the connections and the charms, you have the tricks, let's do it. And according to the blurb, the rich guy then gets actually possessed at one point, and it's also queer, so it's also about their relationship and one has to save the other. I just started that, and we are now at the point where they pulled off their first exorcism together. Not much to say about that one either. I am a whopping 15% into it, so that's what I've been up to. I see you in the next clip, I guess, if I haven't lost my mind completely at that point. I finished Christmas and Other Horrors, and I have an hour and 47 minutes left on the clock. I don't want to anymore. This is so much reading. I'm actively debating not stopping, but stopping for today and finishing the last 2 hours tomorrow. But that would have to happen so early. Christmas and Other Horrors. It's an anthology, and it's not just about Christmas. It's actually like a winter solstice thing, so there are multiple different holidays, mythologies, and traditions. Some of the stories were fine, some of them were confusing. Only a very small percentage was actually scary in terms of being a horror story. A lot of them I think just needed more room to breathe than just a couple of pages. But if you want something quick and spooky, pick this up. There are a bunch of very interesting shorter stories, and some of it longer, but there's some good stuff in there. And you actually get a really good background of different traditions from all around the world, so that's kind of cool. So for my last trick, I'm going to continue reading
Mistletoe and Mishigas. I have been reading it. I am now on page 75, chapter 11, and I don't think I like the approach. This Grumpy Sunshine thing has now evolved into somewhat of your stereotypical enemies to lovers. Like, these two just don't like each other for some reason, but they're also going to be fake dating. And I think what I've been learning this year with me diving into romance is that I don't like the fake dating trope. I don't think I like fake dating. It just seems so unrealistic. At least to me, like, how frequently do people pretend to date someone? I don't get it. But yeah, I will be reading this for the last 2 hours I have on the clock. I just don't know if I'm going to do it tonight or early tomorrow. If it's happening early tomorrow, you will see the last update of this vlog on walkies. Because I have no time. I have no time tomorrow. I have no time tomorrow. So there is a non-zero chance that I will give you an outro in the middle of the forest, freezing my fingers off. I guess you can look forward to that. You hear that? I have to look up what these birds are actually called, but they are accidentally released into the wild parrots of some kind. And despite them naturally being like semi-tropical birds, they just thrived. And even though it is like winter and freezing cold, they're just living their best life, and I love that for them. Like I said, threatened, basically, I have to finish this vlog while I am on walkies. And yes, I am freezing off my fingers for this. That's fine. All for the craft, right? I spent my morning finishing out the last 80 minutes I had on the clock, 1 hour and 20 minutes, by reading Mistletoe and Mishigas. I am now 37% into it. We finally start to get some emotional connection between the characters. They are still a bit flip-floppy, and I still think that Sheldon is annoying. He takes Theo not wanting to talk as a personal offense, and as someone who can act on both sides of the spectrum, the over-talkative but also the just shut the fuck up spectrum. Why is it a personal offense to you when someone just doesn't want to talk and has told you to slow down? Like, yes, Theo has told Sheldon to shut the fuck up, but only after Sheldon kept going, after Theo multiple times said, can you slow down? But we are getting a bit deeper into the characters now, so we might start seeing them actually giving each other reasons. Like, Sheldon already explained why he's always so chipper, because his parents disowned him the second he told them that he's gay. So he's like, okay, what if I'm pretending to be happy and I fake it till I make it? So I'm this overtly happy guy in hopes of making myself happy with that. And Theo is not yet at the point where he is like telling everything to Sheldon, but he also has a very different kind of trauma. He just had a PTSD attack and Sheldon witnessed that, so there's probably going to be some deep personal emotional talk coming in the next chapter. But yeah, I finished the last 1 hour and 20 minutes on my timer. I didn't film it because I looked like a trash goblin. I slept in on a day where I had no time, and then I needed to do 80 minutes of reading for this. I accidentally skipped breakfast because of this. I am so hungry right now. But yeah, I finished it. I did it. I read for 24 hours. And oh my god, I never want to do it again. I thought I could do this in like 3 days because everyone else was doing it in 2 days. So I was like, yeah, I'm doing 3 days and it's going to be like chill. Boy, was I wrong. This is not chill. If you're ever thinking about attempting a 24-hour timer challenge, it is not chill. It is anything but chill. It's no. I low-key feel like never touching a book again. But yeah, this is I would love to give you an overview of what I read, but I don't have any kind of notes on me. So but what wait, let's try to do this from my undercaffeinated, not at all fed brain while freezing. Okay, so the first thing I read was How My Neighbor Stole Christmas. I love that one, surprisingly. Then I DNF'd Nick and Noel's Christmas playlist. Then I read The Boss Who Stole Christmas, a short smutty novella I didn't think too much about. I read Christmas and Other Horrors, which is like an anthology collection, and I got 15% into the Lavender Blade, which is just a random fantasy arc, and Mistletoe's Michigas I made it to 37%. Not bad. Like, yesterday, I didn't check my stats today because I haven't logged anything yet, but as of yesterday, I read over 1,000 pages in 3 days, and I actually beat one of my records. The most pages I read in a day ever were 510 when I finished Our Dark Duet by V. Schwab a couple of years ago. Yesterday I made it to 511 pages. This has been this vlog. I regret having this idea. If you made it to the end of this video, let me know if you would dare to take on a 24-hour challenge. If you have done a 24-hour challenge before, do you regret your choices? Because I certainly do. And if you don't want to talk to me, leave me a bird emoji in the comments below. Preferably the parrot. And yeah, I guess I will see you in the next video. Bye.